Selected one, you passed the test, but the journey you took wasn't simple. Have persevered through storms that tried to break you and maintained your faith in the face of hardships that others could not. When every indication points to despair, you are one of the 1% of people who chosen ones. You earned this triumph. It wasn't given to you. Now that you stand on the cusp of a new chapter and understand that it's only the beginning, stay with me until the end of this message, because you are the one who has been chosen. Since what you're going to hear has the power to alter how the universe reacts to enthusiasm, and we cordially encourage you to send your best wishes in the. Your words have power, so type 99 comments and let the universe know what you intend to achieve. When we unite in faith and belief, the uncommon becomes possible. Your victory is a sign that dreams come true. Therefore, seize this opportunity to align your time to reap the benefits that are currently awaiting you in this manner. You have been selected, but what if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet? Let's explore further together. Does that imply that you have been selected for something more significant? Despite being put to the ultimate test, you never gave up on the selected ones. Are the ones who accept the pain rather than choosing the easy route. Endure the difficulties and rise above the situations that others would find themselves in. You have been purified by fire beneath, and now you are more brilliant than few people realize that you have traveled this path alone before. Times of loneliness that were misinterpreted by individuals in your immediate vicinity. The difficulties you encountered were not typical. Rather, they were intended to mold you into the individual you were meant to be, the chosen one. One goes through heartbreak, grief, treachery, and defeats not as a punishment but as every struggle you fought helped you prepare for this moment. And every tear you wept nourished the roots of your uncommon victory in destiny goes beyond simply surviving it. Is about changing. Many people experience adversity and stay the same, but you have developed. You have risen from the ashes of your hardships by using the lessons you learned to become wiser. This victory is evidence that you have walked with unwavering strength in the past and present. That you are destined for more, but let's not assume that winning means the end of the path. This is only. When you first know you have been selected, you realize that the journey never really ends at any point. As you advance, you'll face new obstacles, obligations, and chances for development. The distinction now is that you possess the fortitude, discernment, and strength to handle whatever comes ahead. There will be some who don't understand how you got this far and will doubt your path. They might even attempt to bring you back if they question your success, but you didn't show up. The voices of doubt have come this far to be nothing more than diversions, and distractions only have power when you pay attention to them. Maintain alignment and focus, and remember your beginnings. You are one of the 1% for a reason, and the difficulties you. Some people never know that their fate is not ordinary, just as their faces are not. Their actual potential, because many give up too quickly, yet you persisted and battled. You persevered when you were exhausted, and you believed in a greater plan even when everything seemed to be against you. You passed the test because you were unable to see the route. This is a moment of realization, is when you take stock of your progress and reflect on it. Think back to the times you wondered if you would survive, and the times you screamed out in search of sought solutions, looking for evidence that this fight suddenly had meaning. Take a look at yourself. You are here, standing in triumph, and you are evidence that resilience, faith, and perseverance are the keys to success. Luck is not involved. Nothing you experienced was a chance. This was divine alignment, preparing you for this time, which included rejection, grief, and pain. Nothing was wasted in the scheme to get you to where you are today. The challenge was worthwhile, and you've moved on to a new chapter where you have entered the realm of your strength and purpose and are no longer constrained by the hardships of the past and your divine calling. But keep in mind, that there is yet more to come. Storytelling is about motivating others, not only about your own triumph. You once understood that the selected ones are supposed to be lights to those who are still in the dark, are intended to serve as a guide for people who are still trying to figure out how they survived the fire so that you can now assist others in walking through theirs. Your experience and testimony are powerful, is evidence that victory is achievable, which is why you must continue and not allow. Don't let the past dictate your future. You already have it. Don't allow fear keep you back. Demonstrated that you are more resilient than your challenges, so it's time to fully. You passed the test and are now ready to go on to the next phase of your purpose. First of all, this is your affirmation that you are headed on the right direction. You have completed what little have you risen where others have fallen? Have you endured when others have given up? Give up, and suddenly the blessings are coming in. Unfolding, the uncommon triumph is yours. Continue, maintain your faith, and stay standing in your strength. The triumph is already written, and the trip is not yet finished. Even if you pass the test, the chosen one's journey is not for the weak of heart. However, that does not imply that the trials are finished. In fact, those selected must keep getting up, keep walking with a goal, and keep accepting they were given a divine route. This is a unique calling that only the strongest can fulfill. Can carry you, the fact that you are one of the few people assigned this task is evidence of your power. Only a select few can comprehend the weight of being selected. It's a journey full of you have endured hardships that would have destroyed most individuals, including challenges that others never have to endure. Bore hardships that would have broken a normal person's heart. But you were never ordinary from the start. You were unique, even when you didn't know why things were occurring, how they carried out an internal message that your existence had a greater purpose. Recall the times when you were alone and felt that you had no one to turn to. Everything seemed unattainable. Despite the darkness and the apparent distance between light and darkness, you managed to make it through. You continued in some way, and it wasn't a coincidence or an accident. It was divine intervention. You were prepared for every agonizing moment and were never intended to remain in the place of battle. Every rejection and setback you encountered shaped you and forced you to develop in unexpected ways. The fire wasn't intended to destroy you. It was intended to refine you. And now that you've endured everything, you're standing in triumph. Yet triumph marks the start of a new phase rather than its conclusion. After passing the test, you need to move forward with even more realization that although there may still be difficulties on the path ahead, you have changed as a person. Acquired knowledge, you have become stronger, and most significantly, you have. Knowing yourself and your purpose in life has never been easy for the chosen ones. You may have observed something about yourself at a young age. Perhaps you've always been different from the typical throng. Thought that you had a certain quality that people couldn't fully comprehend, and that wasn't an error. That was an indication of your calling. Many individuals strive to fit in and follow the same path throughout their lives. Journey like everyone else, but those who are selected are asked to stand out because you are intended to travel a different path, one that calls for bravery, faith, and resilience. You were never intended for a typical life, which is why your trip has been so challenging. You were called to something bigger, and now that you've passed the test, you need to trust in your divine purpose. Your uncertainties and the diversions of the past no longer control you, and the anxieties that previously prevented you from moving forward must now be abandoned. You are entering a new phase in which you completely embrace the reality of who you are, but be advised that being selected does not mean everything. We'll welcome you without hesitation, but in reality, many won't recognize that certain people will want to reintroduce you to old habits and ways of doing things, of believing that outdated settings that no longer work for you could even be attempted by, make you question yourself in order to persuade you that you are not unique or distinct. But you must keep in mind, people who question you don't define you, and other people's opinions are powerless. Nobody else has any power over your destiny. Only you and the divine have control over the course you take, to alter what has previously been written for you, which is why it's crucial to secure your energy. And, in order to maintain your sense of purpose, don't let negativity distract yourself. You've battled too hard to let fear rule you. You worked too hard and made too many sacrifices to allow anything to derail you from your goals. You are now one of the 1% for a reason. Many people begin the journey, but very few complete it. The chosen ones are those who persevere at this level despite everything is against them. They are the ones who, despite having every reason to do so, refuse to give up. Even when they are unable to see the whole picture, have faith in something bigger. Why you pass the test is because you never gave up on your belief that you will never let. You are defined by your experiences because you never allow the suffering to break you. Instead, you use every challenge as motivation to reach new heights, and as you begin this new phase, understand that the benefits will start to materialize, that previously closed doors will start to open, and that the opportunities that the things you have been praying for and striving for, which seemed impossible, will start to come to pass. Reachable, however, keep in mind that new levels bring additional obligations. You have been granted this exceptional victory, not just for yourself, but also for the benefit of the chosen one, is positioned as an example and an example leader, not just someone who succeeds. As a source of motivation for individuals who remain in the dark, the journey of the chosen is never simple, but it is always worth it. You've passed the exam and are now entering a new field of knowing strength and purpose. But this new level also brings a few people will comprehend this new reality, and even fewer will be able to navigate it. Alongside you, you have arrived to a moment when the world no longer exists as you know it. Feels the same. The things that used to amuse you now seem meaningless. The individuals who used to be around you may no longer resonate with you, and the talks you once had seem pointless. This is not an error. Rather, it is a growth in your spirit that you are achieving. Ascension entails a necessary separation from things that initially no longer serve you. This can feel like solitude, but don't confuse it with loneliness. You're being promoted to a greater condition of being that necessitates letting go of everything that is holding you back. You passed the test, but now the true change starts here, and you need to develop discipline. The chosen ones are not totally devoted to your higher purpose and focused on it. Simply said, they are leaders and survivors who forge a route that others cannot follow. You have been given this opportunity. Victory because you've shown that you can handle a mission that not many others can. But with that responsibility comes a fresh challenge of staying on course in spite of any outside distractions you may observe. That some others won't be pleased with your accomplishments and will doubt your metamorphosis. They will attempt to remind you of your past self, your errors, and your hardships. Endured. They will only see their own limitations and not your progress, mirrored back at them. Don't let this deter you. Don't allow the uncertainties of others sow doubt in your mind, but you've already shown that you're strong and have won the fight. You must now confidently walk in your victory, knowing that the uncommon victory you have attained provides the necessary validation. It's about becoming the person you were, not just about conquering challenges. The difficulties you encountered were never intended to shatter you. Rather, they were intended to arouse your curiosity and demonstrate your true potential. And you have to ask yourself, what will I do now that I'm in this new reality? The chosen ones are not granted success with this victory solely for their personal gain. Have been called to something bigger. Your narrative is not only for you, it is also for the knowledge of those who will follow you. You now hold these gifts because of the lessons you've learned, the strength you've developed, and they are intended to be shared, but not everyone is prepared. Therefore, sharing your light does not have to entail pressuring others to see it. Not everyone will be able to relate to your path, but some people are. It's acceptable that you are not intended to go where you are going. Your goal is not to persuade people to follow your mission with courage and to lead by example. You have been selected to break cycles, break barriers, and rise for yourself. You are a living example of what is possible when faith and tenacity are combined to overcome the patterns that have held others back. You can't go back now because of the collision, so you have to keep going. Moving forward will involve times of doubt, even when the path is uncertain. There will be days when you wonder if you're really prepared for this next phase, which is a typical part of growing. Uncomfortable elevation necessitates discomfort, because whenever you experience fear starting to set in, realize that you've already overcome the most difficult tests. You've already conquered what was intended to destroy you, and never question yourself if you think you can't handle your strength in the future. Your power does not lie in knowing all the answers. It lies in going forward in spite of it. This journey is not about finding them. It's about faith that you will discover them along the way. Perseverance is key to perfection. So as you enter this new season, exercise mindfulness of the energy you let surround you, safeguard your tranquility, and keep your mind safe. Avoid gossip, negativity, and anything that makes you feel less positive. Are now functioning at a higher frequency, so you need to be deliberate about what you focus on. Not everyone will celebrate your victory, and it's okay since the selected ones already know how valuable they are and don't need applause. This is your moment, as proven by your journey, your perseverance, and the unseen fights you have fought and won. Now that you've passed the test, you're taking a brave step into the person you were always meant to be. The world might not completely comprehend your path if you are following it with purpose, but that's because it was never intended for them. You've passed the test, thus you've reached a stage in your journey where the past can no longer hold you back, and you have gained access to a degree of strength, clarity, and insight that most people will not have thanks to your uncommon win. Never arrive, but now is the real test. How will you use your newly acquired? Many individuals aspire to be successful, but few are prepared to face reality as it actually is. Takes to get to the chosen ones, but you have no say in the matter. You were created to conquer this and advance to the position of leadership, but leading carries responsibility. The question at hand is not whether you can move. You've already demonstrated that you can move forward. The true question is whether you will accept this next level with the dedication and discipline it demands. You can't afford to be sidetracked any longer. You must now let go of the things that used to take up your time, energy, and tranquility. Behind you, you're entering a world where everything you do matters more. There is no middle ground. Every choice you make will either move you closer to your destiny or farther away from it. This is the reason why so many people give up after making progress, because they believe that the road is over. Actually, it's just the beginning. You've entered a new universe, but now you have to battle to keep it, and you have to protect it with everything you have. Some people were only meant to be with you, but everyone who began this journey with you will be able to continue. Others were only there to teach you specific things during that season before they had to leave, and this is one of the harshest realities of being selected are that you will outgrow people and have to end connections, situations, and even attitudes that are no longer in line with your larger purpose, and it won't always be simple. You'll hear doubtful voices whispering that, and you'll feel the pull of the past attempting to drag you back. Perhaps you should halt here and settle down, or perhaps you should return to. Even though it seems familiar, you know deep down that you are no longer the same person. You have changed, and after entering this new understanding that going back to the previous way of life is no longer an option, and that progress is uncomfortable. Change is challenging, but the selected ones rise to the occasion instead of faltering. You must rise once more, since the next stage of your adventure will demand even more self-control. You have to direct your energies in a deliberate manner. Keep your thoughts in check and safeguard your vision, because now that there will be forces attempting to dissuade you from this uncommon victory. Some of these will take the shape of many diversions that appear innocuous, but gradually eat up your time and focus. Some will appear as folks that aren't necessarily you. Harm, but who attempt to guide you, since they don't comprehend your objective away from it. And some will manifest as internal conflicts. The anxiety, the put. When you are about to experience something amazing, you may have doubts about the old wounds that come back. However, you must be steadfast because you have already prevailed in your hardest battle. Demonstrated your strength, now you need to live it every day. Do not allow comfort to make you complacent or allow fear to stop you. Transient feelings influence long-term choices, and the path ahead is paved with chance, but only for those that stay dedicated. You've entered a level where only 1% of people are selected, the ones who have persevered and are still standing, those who have been honed by hardships and come out stronger. This is your new reality, which is a duty that the selected ones do not wander in. Whatever you do from moving forward requires deliberate use of your time, energy, and concentrate. These are your most precious resources. Don't throw them away or waste them to things that aren't useful to you. This is your chance to receive a unique victory, but it is. The adventure is far from ended, and the next chapter is up to you to continue it. Unfolding, and the question is, are you prepared to face it with complete awareness, complete strength, and complete commitment, as there is no going back once you make it? You are entering your best self, and everything changes after that. You've entered a reality. Few people ever make it to you, but you've passed the test, survived the fire, and come out on top. More resilient than before, but this is not the end of the road. In fact, this is where the chosen ones are not just called to survive. They are asked to undergo true transformation, are meant to flourish. You have been bestowed this unique triumph, not only for yourself, but because now is the moment for you to embrace the entirety of who you are and fully enter your divine assignment. No more questioning yourself, no more doubting your value, and no more dwelling on the past. Has finished, and the hardships you faced now serve as your pillar. And the future awaits you to seize it, but be aware that this is the path. It won't be easy going forward, but you'll be stronger because you've changed. And as a result, you will think and move differently, react differently, as every event that occurs from now on is a test of your preparedness. Fresh opportunities will present itself, but will you have the guts to take them? Fresh obstacles will appear, but will you believe that you are strong enough to defeat them? And the universe is watching. You are one of the 1% that are waiting to see if you will fully embrace the calling that has been put upon your life, because you have grown more sophisticated than others. You have overcome obstacles, endured loneliness, and handled difficult situations of profound uncertainty, but here you are, standing motionless and without moving. The act of rising is evidence that you are meant for more, but with this elevation has a price. The higher you go, the more self-control you'll need. You can no longer tolerate negativity. You must be deliberate with your thoughts, feelings, and behaviour. You can't waste time on people or let yourself be sidetracked by pointless things anymore. Circumstances that don't fit your goals. This is where a lot of people fail. Obtain the breakthrough, but they do not safeguard it. Instead, they enjoy the triumph, but fail to maintain it. They achieve a new level, but let old tendencies resurface. That cannot be you because you have put in too much effort, made too many sacrifices, and persevered. There have been too many hardships to discard anything. Therefore, you must now use everything you own to preserve your tranquility and elevate yourself. Preserve your energy and vision, and above all, have faith in the method does not guarantee that the path will be simple, just because you have achieved this new level. In fact, the chosen. Because they have been given even more responsibility, people frequently encounter even more difficulties. But don't worry, the same strength that brought you this far will help you go forward. You've reached a phase of manifestation where you're achieving the goals you've set for yourself. You can now achieve all of the goals you previously believed were unattainable. However, you need to stay committed and keep going forward with unshakable. The selected ones are not supposed to live in terror or to doubt themselves. They are supposed to be determined. Doubt your own deservingness, as you have already been selected, summoned, and put to the test, and shown to be successful. So now take control of your life and walk in that power. There will be some who doubt your achievement despite everything that is intended for you. Some people will attempt to rehabilitate you, but resist their attempts because you are no longer functioning on you've reached the same level as before, therefore it's time to proceed. Consequently, don't waste this opportunity and don't allow fear to stop you. Don't let doubt stop you. You've come too far to be hesitant now. The cosmos has already verified your readiness. Now is the moment to trust it for yourself and take the next step. Move courageously, confidently, and believe your path because you have been selected. Nothing can alter the fact that now is the moment to embrace who you are completely. Greater hesitancy, less doubt about your deservingness, less reflection on how you performed on the test, and, now that you are on the verge of your biggest metamorphosis, everything will change, not just on the outside. However, you have been selected by God, not by chance or accident, within yourself. Make a purpose of every hardship you have encountered, every obstacle you have surmounted, and the moment you considered quitting up but persisted has led you to this point. You have become stronger and are not the same person who embarked on this adventure. You are ready for the next step because you are smarter, yet the following step calls for a new. You cannot bring old habits, anxieties, or doubts into this version of yourself. You must begin this new chapter with absolute confidence that you belong here. The chosen ones don't wait for authorization to enter their destiny, which they accept, assert, and represent. The reason the world could not completely comprehend your journey is because it was intended for you, not for them. Some people will wonder why you, having been raised, there will be some who attempt to lower you by reminding you of your past and sowing doubts in your thoughts. But they don't define you or dictate your future. Only you do that. This uncommon victory you've gained is more than just a personal triumph. It's a change in the fundamental basis of your existence. You have dismantled obstacles that have imprisoned others. You have overcome situations that were intended to ruin you, and you have changed the narrative that others attempted to written for you, and now you move forth with strength and might. In clarity, but now that you've arrived at this point, the actual job starts. Level. You need to protect it with all of your resources, because the selected ones don't reach success by chance, and they don't maintain it without daily work. Must choose progress over comfort and dedicate yourself to the journey each and every day. You have to remind yourself daily of why you began there. The old ways try to drag you back during times of temptation. Yet recall that you did not fight all those things and that you did not get this far to turn around fights only to give up, but now you're past that. Diversions that go beyond the uncertainties and constraints that previously prevented you from now is the time for you to fully embrace your destiny. You weren't created to exist. You are destined to guide, motivate, and produce. Change the lives of the selected ones. They don't settle with mediocrity. They don't hide their light to accommodate others. Instead, you've been bestowed with a unique success comes with a lot of responsibility. How will you use it? Will you face your fears head-on, or will you take bold action? Although you are aware that everything you have experienced has prepared you for this particular time, you secretly know that the decision is yours. You already know the response, you've been selected, you're prepared, and inexorable. So proceed and seize what is rightfully yours.